Spyro the Dragon. This video game series holds a very special place in my heart. Some of my earliest memories are me sitting in the living room playing Spyro on my PlayStation 2 while my mom was cleaning the house and playing her CDs she burned music onto from her old Dell computer. A while ago I was starting a new playthrough of Spyro 1, and as Nestor finished his dialogue...
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
It got me thinking. What if I took that statement literally? What if I were to only collect the dragons, eggs, and just completely ignore all of the gems laying around? So that's what started this challenge. I wanted to find out for myself, can you beat Spyro the Dragon without collecting any gems? The rules for this challenge are fairly simple. I have to get to the end of the game with the total treasure count at 0, collect as many dragons and eggs as I can, and defeat Nasty Nork to beat the game. You wish to do this challenge yourself. To make things easier, do the challenge without sparks. That way you don't run the risk of collecting any gems as you walk by them. With those rules set, let us begin with the Artisan's Homeworld. By far, one of the easiest homeworlds to avoid gems in. I was able to collect Nestor, Delbin, Argus, and Thomas with ease. Stonehill is the first world we enter, and I dropped down to collect Gavin, squeezed up to the side of the tunnel to collect Lindar. Be careful of this one, because if you do end up dying, you'll respawn back here and risk collecting the red gems in the tunnel. I freed Astor and Gildas, and chased down an egg thief to finish off Stonehill. Entering Dark Hollow next, this world gives me a bit of a challenge. I had to do some very careful platforming to reach Alban, fly down to the lower level, avoiding the gems in the entryway and flaming the giant Norks pacing the tunnels to collect Oswin, and avoid more Norks to get Darius to complete Dark Hollow. Moving on to Town Square, I climbed some steps to collect Nils, glided across platforms to get Delvin, and had a miniature heart attack, torched some bulls and Nork matadors to get Alvar, stopped the egg thief before he even got the chance to run, and did a quick glide over to collect Thor.
The God of Thunder!
With Town Square and the other worlds completed, it is time to take on the first boss, Toasty. Kind of. And by take on Toasty, I mean torch a bunch of dogs and herders until I collect Nevin and promptly exit the level. And now Toasty will just sit there. Forever. Till the end of time. Anyways, with all the dragons and eggs that I've collected, I have reached the requirements that Marco the Balloonist set for me to enter the Peacekeeper's Homeworld. Peacekeepers is another easy homeworld to collect the things we need in. Straight ahead of us is Titan.
Recover our treasure, Spyro.
Sorry, buddy. I'm only doing what Nestor tells me, because his dialogue is the only one you can't skip, so that means it's more important. A bit of platforming later, we can retrieve an egg thief, and also die at the same time because I'm a dummy.
Yeah!
And then shamefully come back and collect Gunner, and hop back over to the main area to collect Magnus. Clifftown is the first place we enter in this homeworld, and we will start out by collecting Halvor, or not, due to where Spyro walks to start the dragon's animation, only the first dragon that we cannot collect. However, we can stop the egg thief, climb a bunch of steps and torch a bunch of fat ladies. No, I'm not kidding, that's literally what they're called. To collect Enzo, and finally glide over to collect Marco, finishing off Clifftown. Dry Canyon is next, and everything here is very simple. Chase down the egg thief, free Conan O'Brien, jump up a couple of platforms to collect Boris, blindly glide across a mountainside, and carefully jump around gems to collect Maximus, and walk around a line of gems guarding Ivor to free him, and completing Dry Canyon. Entering the final level of Peacekeepers, Ice Cavern took me an uncomfortable amount of time to complete. I avoided some snow-throwing Norks to collect Ulrich, took a higher path to collect Todor, and ran a couple feet forward to free Andor. This is where things start to get really tricky. I had to very carefully maneuver around some green gems, and torch an enemy to get Asher. Now I have to get up this set of platforms to reach the final dragon. And with a ton of patience and absolute raw talent, I was able to traverse the platforms and reach Ragnar to free him, and finishing off this nightmare known as Ice Cavern. I then entered the boss level, Dr. Shemp. I'm extra careful to avoid the enemies that run out into the narrow passageways, and ride the whirlwind to collect Trondo and leave Shemp to just stand there for eternity and think about his life choices and what led to this exact moment. With all of these levels completed, let's go see if Gosnold will take us to the next homeworld. That's a problem. We unfortunately cannot advance to the next homeworld because we do not meet the gem requirements. With that, to answer the question of, can you beat Spyro 1 without collecting gems, the answer is an unfortunate no. However, there is a way to bypass the balloonist. If I perform some super secret magic by going into the guide menu and pressing square, square, circle, square, left, right, circle, up, right, down, I now have access to every single homeworld and level in the game. Walking back up to Gosnold, he'll pretend to be an impatient Karen in a Starbucks and tell you that he's waiting for something that he has absolutely zero use for. And we just simply ignore him, hop onto the balloon, and head out to the Magic Crafters homeworld. Entering Magic Crafters, I take a left and take out another pesky egg thief, avoid some enemies to collect Cosmos. I then decide to be a total dingus and jump straight into Alpine Ridge instead of getting everything in the homeworld first. But oh well. In Alpine Ridge, I start out by almost having another heart attack, then jump up to collect Zane, avoid some green druids moving platforms and walls to collect Eldred, and carefully climb some steps to collect Xander. Now to collect the last two things I need, I use a trick that speedrunners of this game use. Shoutouts to them. I glide towards a specific spot on the mountainside that doesn't have any collision to clip through to the next area where I cut off the egg thief from running away and collect Kelvin and complete Alpine Ridge. Exiting Alpine Ridge, I have my third heart attack throughout this entire playthrough. I then stop another egg thief and run up a hill to collect Xantor. I once again continue to be a dingus and just jump straight into High Caves. In High Caves, I run through a cave full of metal spiders to collect Ajax, took the supercharged ramp to other islands to collect another egg thief, then found another egg thief, used the supercharged ramp again to collect Cedric the Entertainer, and finally returned to the beginning of the level to climb up the hill while avoiding wizards and tornado people to collect Cyrus and finish High Caves. Returning to Magic Crafters, I go to collect Boldar to finally finish the homeworld, and then jump into Wizard Peak with its tremendous music track. Entering Wizard Peak, I dodge some enemies to collect Jarvis, use a supercharged floor to defeat an egg thief, thinking he's clever by hiding behind a wall. Unfortunately for him, I'm smarter than that. I then use the supercharged floor again for some dumb reason to collect Hexus, torch the 12th and final egg thief, then die in the process.
You stupid!
And finally climb up to collect Lucas to finish off Wizard Peak. We now get to go to the funniest level in the game, Magic Crafters boss, Blowhard. The beginning of the level is super easy to get through, and then we enter the mountainside. Oh boy, this section took me a good while to complete, but with enough determination, I was able to maneuver around the gems on the platforms and collected Altair to complete Blowhard, leaving him to his lonesome. With everything complete in Magic Crafters, I walk up to Tuco, hold him at gunpoint, and demand that he takes me to the next homeworld, the Beast Makers. In Beast Makers, I dodge some electric floors to collect Bruno and jump straight into Terrace Village, which is probably the easiest level in this homeworld. I jumped in to collect Claude, and damage boosted through electric floors to collect Cyprin, who's looking at me very sexually. Anyway, with Terrace Village done, we go back to the homeworld to collect Cletus and head into Misty Bog. Torching some dragon-eating plants, yes, that's their name, allows me to collect Roscoe, then later on torch more of them to collect Zeke, avoided some pigs and frogs to release Bubba, and we finally reached the infamous room, barely scraping by and collecting Damon to finish off Misty Bog. After that bunch of fun, we head to treetops. Flaming some enemies that are in our way and gliding across to another island grants us the ability to collect Lyle. I use yet another trick found by speedrunners to glide all the way to the lone island to collect Jed, and finally climb the interior of some stairs to avoid some red gems, to collect Isaac and complete treetops. We now move on to the boss of the Beastmaker's homeworld, Metalhead. As we try to advance in the level, a strong arm throws a banana boy, I promise these are the names, and I instantly collect its gem even though I'm nowhere near it. So, with that said, this is another dragon that we unfortunately cannot collect and have to skip this level in its entirety. With that disappointment out of the way, we must ask Cray the Balloonist to take us to the next homeworld. And then we see he's being guarded by a pesky red gem.
You shall not pass!
Fortunately for this gem, I can slide in from the side to avoid collecting it while also triggering Cray's dialogue. He takes us to the second to last homeworld, the Dreamweavers. Entering Dreamweavers, I hop around some islands to collect Mazzy and jump into haunted towers. In this level, I defeat some possessed armor suits to collect Kosoko. I then burn down a door to collect Lutalo.
Hold your horns!
Yeah, I don't know what that was either. And finally, I use the supercharged floor to jump to the secret area of the castle to collect Copano and finish Haunted Towers. Dark Passage is up next, and I have to dodge metal turtles to collect Kasaya, and have once again another heart attack. Weave through devil Cupid things to collect Azizi, slide through more Cupid things, and parkour around a slope of red gems to collect Bakari, torch some odd-looking dogs to free Apara, and avoid a pile of gems to glide to another platform to collect Obasi and finish Dark Passage. Back in Dreamweavers, I go and collect Latif and enter Lofty Castle. This level just consists of freeing fairies to activate whirlwinds. With that, I can collect Mudata. I glide to another island to collect Baruti, while keeping in mind the red gem sitting on the platform that he's on. So in other words, don't respawn here. And finally, glide around a pillar freeing fairies from cages, and using the whirlwind to collect Useni, finish Lofty Castle, and bring our dragon total to 69. Nice. Further into Dreamweavers, we collect Zikomo, head to the boss level, Jacques. We get onto the infamous platform to glide over and collect Unica. And then we traverse over some gesture-controlled platforms to collect Revilo and finish off Jacques. With all that done, we go to Amos the Balloonist, and he tells me that I need 6,000 gems to use his balloon. I then inform him that I'm holding his family hostage,
And the only way he can see them again is if he allows me to use his balloon to access the final homeworld.
He very quickly agrees, and we head to Nasty's world. In Nasty's world, we walk straight forward to collect Delbin again, and head right into Nort Cove. You'll notice very quickly that the dragons that we collect from now on are the ones that we've already collected. One of the dragons' dialogues and the actual story reason behind this was after we freed them, they went to go and fight Nasty Nork and failed miserably. I hop up some more platforms to once again collect Latif, and finally defeat some Norks standing on barrels and one of them holding an explosive to collect Thomas again and finish Nort Cove. Entering the second to last level in this challenge, Twilight Harbor, I have to get through an average American school to collect Cosmos again, and walk over a bridge to collect Cletus for the second time, which completes Twilight Harbor. We have finally reached the final boss, Nasty Nork. The thieves holding the keys are super easy to defeat, and now the chase begins. I land the first hit and follow him into a lava chamber, jumping from platform to platform, being careful not to miss, and be quick enough so they don't close while I'm on them. With Nasty Nork cornered, I flame him one more time, defeating him and completing this challenge. Except I was forced to collect the gems that he drops when he gets defeated. The fact that we made it this far, I'm not counting those 100 gems towards the total. So to finally answer the question of can you beat Spyro the Dragon without collecting gems, the answer is yes, with a question mark. Without the use of cheat codes, I wouldn't have been able to make it as far as I did. But if I did this by legit means, then the answer would be no. Looking at the final count of collectibles, we got all 12 dragon eggs and 77 of the 80 dragons in the game, which comes to almost 50% of the game complete. While it is sad that I couldn't defeat Nasty Nork without picking up the gems he drops, this challenge was very fun to do and gave me an entirely new perspective on how this game is designed and the importance of each collectible in the game. Each thing you're picking up has a purpose and plays a pivotal role in advancing throughout the game. Some collectible games don't do that. Sometimes you just collect things just for the sake of it. But this game, every single thing has a use that helps you advance into new homeworlds and all that other stuff. So if any of you are watching this and you want to attempt it for yourself, I would very highly recommend it, because it does give you a brand new light on this classic video game that still, in my opinion, stands the test of time after 27 years. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I spent far too much time on this, but I very much enjoyed every single second of it. This took about 3 months to put together, and there were countless nights of writing out the script and editing the video and all that fun stuff just to get this passion project of mine out for all of you guys to enjoy. If you do want to see more of these, please let me know by, liking the video and letting me know in the comment section. With that being said, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in whatever I may do next. Laters!